Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with day 20 of 30 days of sketches and today's load prompt, which is about a relationship, a special relationship between you and an animal. In my case, it's specifically a puppy dog named, let's see if I can find the photos now. I seem to have lost the photos here. Okay. And her name was Poopsie Q McElfresh. And she was just the cutest little dog. When we got her, she was 1.75 pounds, and she ballooned all the way up to almost 6 pounds. And she was the sweetest dog in the universe. In my journaling, I tell the story of how I saw her on a random trip to the mall, and John was at work. I called him and begged him to get her, and he explained to me all the logical reasons why we shouldn't. And I walked back to see her again, and I saw someone else trying to buy her, and I called him up. And of course I had to go, I didn't have a cell phone in those days. I had to go find a payphone to call him. I called him and said, someone else is buying her. I want her. She's just the cutest dog in the universe, and she loves me. She wants me. And I talked him into it because she was very, all of her conformation and her characteristics and her size, she was a toy Pekingese. And she had all of the traits of almost a show dog. And she had come from a show dog litter. So, and they'd acquired, it wasn't one of those, puppy farm breeders and so forth. I think that was the case. Anyway, I talked him into all the money we were going to make by breeding her. And as it turned out, she wasn't able to have puppies. It's not an important part of the story to tell you why, but so she just was a precious lap dog. She was almost instantly and instinctively trained. The cleanest dog you've ever met. And it used to aggravate James. He was a kid then. It was his job to walk her after he got home from school. And she was so low to the ground, if you put her on grass, she'd fuss around and fuss around and fuss around because the grass tickled her belly. and she just wouldn't go. And so he'd come back all aggravated, but he adored her. And she adored him. And so anyway, she's just one of our fondest memories of the past. These are 3 differently filtered versions of this photo, which is one of my favorites because it shows her smiling, and she constantly had a smile on her face. And did I mention she never barked? And when we trained her, we had her on a tile floor, and she kind of got used to the nice, cool ceramic tile. And she would stay in the bathroom, and when we brought her out into the rest of the house, she'd stay in the kitchen, and we'd try to call her into the living room to come hop up on the couch with us or something like that. We actually had to physically carry her because it was as though she had an invisible fence. She wouldn't come onto carpet. She just thought she wasn't supposed to be on carpet. Or maybe it tickled her belly too. I don't know what it was. But she was just adorable. Anyway, enough of a story about my very special... And we love Reese, the dog we have now, and I loved Hop Sing, the Pekingese that I had before Poopsie, and actually I had 2. I had Hop Sing and Little Chung King was her name, and those were from a previous lifetime. But there's never been a dog as sweet as Poopsie, and she was just so tiny. 1.75 pounds, guys. That was a really small dog. And when James went away to school, this is all in the journaling, but you probably won't be able to read it because I wrote it small and I cried all over it. But when James went away to school and we had an empty nest, our jobs sent us on more traveling. So we had friends who would dog sit, and one of them actually asked us if they could keep her, if Poopsie could go live with her, because her mother-in-law was very ill and couldn't get around much, stayed in a rocking chair all day, and Poopsie loved to sit on her lap. And I don't know if you know much about Pekingese, but they were bred originally in China to have their arms or their legs were kind of crooked. And I when I say crooked, it's spelled like crooked, but they were specially bred to have those legs so that they were ideal for lap dog sitting, and they walking much, kind of gave them problems. And by the time we were traveling a lot, Poopsie had arthritis pretty badly. So anyway, let me get on with the page. I'm using here the MammaRazzi2 collection by BoBunny, a hoarded collection that I absolutely love. Let me show you the sketch that I'm working with. This is the sketch. It has a strip here, a vertical strip of papers, a horizontal strip of photos. This heart has some little stitching across it, and there's a banner with some stitching across it, some title and some journaling, and this stitched heart. Mine's not going to be stitched, of course, but I'll show you what I'm going to do. So before I get involved with any of the products, let's do this heart. And I am going to use a heart, but my heart's not going to be filled with other hearts. It's going to be filled with little doggy paws. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to lay this. I took a piece of regular typing paper, folded it, and cut a heart, just like we used to do in first grade. So I'm going to do this, and I'm actually going to just kind of lay this across, and I'm going to brush and blend a couple different colors of Distress Oxide, of course. The color on the reverse side of the main paper strip that I'm using is this kind of teal, but it's a greenish teal. And there's peacock feathers and pine needles. The pine needles kind of looks closest to this green, but I think I'd like some of the peacock feathers in there to give a little bit more blue. So I'm going to use both of them. I'm going to do the peacock feathers first. Let me find the right brush. I need another set of these, right? Okay, this one is blue. I'm gonna use the green one. That's a yellow. And like I said yesterday, I need to remark these. Okay, we'll go with this one. And I'm going to maybe tape this down just to keep it in place. And it's going a little bit off the page, and that's intentional. I'm gonna let me start over here, and I'll make it parallel with the page, and we'll kind of see how that. Gonna kind of do this, and it looks like she's been walking in grass, right? I just want to make sure I get some color on all of the little paw prints here. and I don't want to get any straight lines. I'm going to take this and move it. Ooh, that's coming out cute, isn't it? Kind of like this. I'll have some of them be kind of shadowy. I have to be sure I see where the, yeah, okay. And now, let's see if that kind of covered it up enough. I might like something a little more distinctive right in there, and that may end up getting covered by the, and I'll make this one go that way. Okay, I'm happy with that, but now what I want to do is draw the outline. And I'm going to kind of doodle it like kind of around like that and like that, and then we'll do another one across here and there. Let it get some under. Okay, we'll see how this works. Okay, I like it. I'm going to the lids on these. That's the wrong lid. Let's get them right here. These over here. Okay, now I'm going to start working the paper parts. I want this right here, but actually I'm going to use from this sticker sheet. Let's see, I've got, I want to use this scallop trim down this right hand edge here. And I know it's going to be easier to put on if I just put it straight on the paper. So I'm going to do that. Oops, it doesn't go all the way. It's not a full 12 inches. Who knew? So I'm going to take it up. I'm going to scooch it up a little bit so that there's a little bit of a border on each. That's too much. I'm glad I didn't do this while also trying to scooch it under that, under this guy. Okay, if I do this, okay, that works fine. Okay, and I was debating whether or not to put some foam under this, and I'm not going to. I have some foam under the photo strip. And that'll give us some dimension there. And I kind of like that this blue in here, there was a filter, a different filter that I could have used that actually brought out, there's some greenish dots in that bed, but I kind of liked these because her smile shows up better. So I'm going to put some foam under here too. That's kind of not very evenly cut there. Okay. That there. And then I'll do some of the, I've got some rub-ons that I thought I would use. Let me see where I put them. Did I put them off to the side? I'm, again, losing things. Here we go. Okay, and I thought I might do a rub-on of this kind of film strip looking bit there, and I've got to cut that out, and I'll see where that ends up before I actually glue anything with dimension on there. So let me get, and I may cut that into 2 lengths, and I have a sticker that I will do the same way, and I'll introduce another color green in there that'll kind of pick up on the lighter green bits there. This is a brand new unopened set of rub-ons that I, forgot I had. Okay, let me do, I'll cut it into these 2 lengths. Put that one upside, whoops, it's not upside down. I don't want it to stick to my mat, so. I think I'd like this kind of right across here. Then I'm going to make the other one a little bit more parallel with the photo, but kind of crisscrossing this one. So with older rub-ons, maybe you have to rub them a little bit more. And to be honest, I don't care if this kind of comes off a little raggedy like it did there, because that gives it that kind of vintagey look. Okay, so this one's gonna be more like that. And I can't say that I've ever done a rub-on on top of a rub-on, so I have no idea how that'll work. And we may end up covering it up with an embellishment of some sort. Okay, good. And that can go right there. And then I think I wanted to use this underneath it, but I can do that after that's on. Let's do this. I'll move it back over here a bit. And I'll let a little more of that cross show. Whoops, okay. Now, I'm gonna get this, I want it parallel with this, and it doesn't seem to be. So pull it up a little more. Okay, that works. And this seems, I want that under this, but not necessarily parallel with it. And I've got these two bits, but I tell you what, let me get my journaling here and see where I want it. Maybe right there. And I'm going to use this. I forgot to check and see. Let's see. Poopsie. Okay, I have the letters. Let me get a strip of foam to put them on. And that becomes my title. Yeah, that's good. And I may need to go back with some glue. These are not tearing apart too easily, which means it gives them kind of a torn edge, which I don't hate. Okay, let's see. Yes. I really like this line. It's not, it's an early favorite of mine. I had never seen MammaRazzi1 when this MammaRazzi2 came out, but I fell in love with this, and I bought a few pieces of it at Archivers, I expect, and then I think some of it was available on Peachy Cheap back when I used to do that, and so I got some more, and I love it, but kind of don't tend to use it a lot. Okay, so I was thinking I might do the title right up in here. Okay, that's good. I like this film strip rub-on, but I think I'm not going to use it on here. I may still try to use those green arrows and that bit of film. Let me get this on here. Where's my... Being a little sloppy this morning. Okay, there. And I kind of want, I'm using this, there's this horizontal element here, and I think I'm going to just let that film strip kind of stand in for that. And I'm going to add one down here, and I'm going to rub on both of these. And yes, I know I'm doing it, kind of tucking it up. Let's see, that one goes down this way, so let's make this one go a bit up here, and we'll kind of scooch it over to there. So pretty much that's set. And I know it's not going to show up much here, but you'll be able to see enough of it for there to be that continuity. And this has several colors of green, and in a minute I think I'm going to need to let myself embrace those other greens, because I want to do some fake stitching on an element. Okay, that's a little bit of that's coming off, so let me go back, and that's not the best burnishing tool, but sometimes it's good to get little details down. And again, like I said, I don't mind if some of it isn't perfect, because I like the kind of the vintagey look in some of the other elements. Okay, so I need something right here, and I thought I'd use a camera bit right there, and it doesn't really show up against the brown, so I'm going to put it on this green and fussy cut around it to give it a different border. And we're getting close to finishing. It always helps when I've typed up the journaling. I do that on some layouts, but I try not to do it on all, because I do think that it's nice to have my handwriting on layouts, although I have never ever in my life known how to write straight, even if there are lines to guide me. So let's see. It seems like it would be nice there, but I think I'm going to put it here and maybe overlap the photo like that. And I've got a sticker has stuck to my brush. Let's get that, and my glue has turned over. So let's put that away somewhere. I like the fact that these hearts in the Vicki Boutin Storyteller collection have that that exact same kind of green. So I'm gonna do that right there. Let that one overhang. And I think I have another one right here. There's a nice big butterfly, and I thought I might want to use it right there, but I think I'm just gonna do this right there. Okay, do I need anything else? I have, because the heart was stitched right here, that was an element I thought might be fun to do. And I have some greens, a few of these greens, and I thought maybe this one might be, or this one might be close enough to one of the greens in here. Or the other option I have is to ink up one of these that's close and see if I can get it to match. But this doesn't really need any stitching, and if I did any stitching, it might be right along this edge here. So I've got enough of this green to do that. And it's going right over just the color it is. It's going right over the stripe that actually has that color in it. So I'm going to use it. And that'll just add that, what I like about stitching, what everyone likes about stitching, is the texture. And this adds that texture. And some of the, you know, this is an older product that I'm using here as well. So it's not absolutely, the adhesive isn't absolutely reliable. So I may have to go back and finish that off with some glue. But I think I've got everything here. Let me add some doodling to this in a kind of a fake stitch that looks like it's kind of trying to contain the other doodling. And I think that just adds, again, another element of texture. And it looks a little bit more like the original. I could have tried to run that stitching over it, but I think this is good. Okay, so there's the story of Poopsie, and I hope you enjoyed it. It wasn't too fractured. I did have a thing that said smile often that I could, let me try to do that. I actually pulled this out specifically for that phrase. And the reason is that Poopsie was always smiling. Right, John?
Yep.
She was constantly smiling. She just couldn't help it. And I have to think, and part of it, yes, was her jaw and tooth structure. But the rest of it was, I think she was just a truly happy little dog. She, you know, all dogs, I think, once acclimated to their owners, their whole lives are about pleasing those owners. But I think Poopsie just kind of made an art form out of it. Okay, I like that. So maybe the title of this is Smile Often, and Poopsie's just part of the journaling. So thanks for watching. I will see you tomorrow with the next clue, and later today I'll have the video on the very next project I'm doing in my organizing. I'm giving myself an easy one this time, stencils. Not that they're not in a horrific mess, but I think I have an idea what I want to do there. And it's a relatively, compared to albums, for example, it's a relatively small project. And next week, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I may record the before on Monday and then the after on Saturday with having nothing done in between because I'm having cataract surgery on Monday. But we'll see. I'll know on Saturday what I'm going to do next. So I do the before on Tuesdays and the after on Saturdays. And then I do, I'll have, tomorrow I have a Scrap Academy lesson just on using your fingers and getting messy with mixed media. And I've got a couple ideas planned for that. I use as you well know, I use my fingers and hands all the time, and they look it in my mixed media. So today, not too messy, but I do have a little a little ink there. So hope you enjoyed it. Appreciate your watching. Bye.